Our entire first floor was worn carpet and sheet vinyl, so I ripped that out and installed about 800 square feet of LVP flooring in its place. And along the way, I learned a few things that would have saved me hours of work had I known them before. In this video, I'm going to walk through the entire process. What went well?
I think that's going to work just fine.
What didn't?
That was tough.
And whether installing LVP yourself is actually worth it.
So, lesson learned, it's not always as easy as people make it seem on YouTube. Or, maybe I just don't know what I'm doing.
Like I said, our house had a mix of carpet and sheet vinyl across the entire first floor, and honestly, it was starting to show its age. Between kids, pets, spills, and general life happening, the carpet was getting pretty rough. So we wanted something that was durable, easy to clean, and looked a lot more modern. So we decided to replace everything with luxury vinyl plank flooring, aka LVP. In total, I installed about 800 square feet of LVP across the first floor, including the living room, kitchen, hallway, and entryways. And the install itself took a few days spread out over the course of nights and weekends. The first step was to get rid of the old flooring, and carpet actually comes out pretty easily, but what nobody tells you is just how many staples you'll end up pulling out of the floor. Take your time and remove all of the staples so they don't telegraph through your new floor later on. And after the carpet came out, I had to trim back some of the sheet vinyl so that the thin sheathing that I'm laying down over the subfloor would lay flat. I started along the longest, straightest wall in the house just to give myself the best chance of staying consistent as I worked across the space. I also ran the planks in the long direction of the house, which tends to make the space feel a little bit bigger and more continuous. Now, cutting the planks was actually pretty straightforward, and for most of the cuts I used this vinyl plank cutter, and honestly, I'd highly recommend picking one of these up, even if it's just for this one job. It made things so much faster and cleaner. Now, for the more detailed or awkward cuts like cutting around door frames or corners, I switched over to using a jigsaw since it's just more versatile in those situations. And between those two cutting tools, I was able to handle pretty much every cut I had to make. So cutting the planks was very easy and straightforward, but when it came to actually installing the planks, that was a little bit more involved than I expected. It's not difficult per se, but it definitely takes some patience and some muscle to get each plank locked in cleanly, because the last thing you want is a little hairline gap in between planks where water and other crumbs and stuff can get into and cause problems later on down the road. A tapping block and a small pry bar make a huge difference here, especially when trying to tighten up those joints without damaging the edges. And honestly, a lot of the times, instead of a tapping block, I just used a scrap offcut of other plank and just used that as the tapping block. Once I got into a rhythm though, it started moving pretty quickly, just working row by row through each space. Now, before I even started this project, there were a couple areas that I was a little bit either hesitant or nervous about, and it turns out that my hesitancy was valid. The most challenging parts of this whole project were definitely the doorways and any areas where a lot of things came together in one spot. And there were a few times where I had to measure and cut the same piece several times to get it just right, and in some cases even pull up the previous few rows to install that plank and get that one plank to fit correctly.
That was tough.
It's one of those things where everything looks simple until you hit a spot like this. And I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't mention a few lessons that I learned along the way. So lesson number one, the 1/4 inch spacers don't work if your wall isn't pretty flat and consistent to begin with. So I downloaded a 3D print file from Brad over at Fix This Build That, and it's just this 1/4 inch spacer. I'm sure it works well, but like I said, my walls weren't flat or consistent along the bottom at all. I had a lot of plaster goobers and just dips and valleys and whatnot. So after struggling with those for far too many hours, I ditched those and instead I installed the first few rows of planks, got those just perfect, and then I installed a few screws along the first row of planks. And don't worry, after I had the whole floor installed, I removed those screws and you'll never know that there's any holes in the first planks because all that's covered up with the base along the wall. So something to look out for. Lesson number two is plan your plank layout early. So I did in fact check a few of the walls in our house to make sure that the planks would work out well, but I missed the kitchen island and I was left with a couple slivers on either side of the island. So if I had to do this all over again, I would shift the planks one way or the other just a little bit to give myself a larger strip on each side of the island. Lesson number 3 is get a pair of knee pads. No matter how young you think you are, you're gonna be sore the next day. So I know they're not comfortable whatsoever. I'm still looking for a pair of comfortable knee pads behind your knee, like the straps that go behind. Totally uncomfortable, but endure the short-term discomfort and your knees will thank you later on. And finally, lesson number 4, you're underestimating the time it will take to complete this project. If you're anything like me, you have a day job and family responsibilities in the evenings, leaving you mainly the weekends to do this. So take whatever estimated time you have in your head and easily double it, if not triple it. Overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Just having consistent flooring throughout most of the first floor really made the space feel brighter, cleaner, and much more modern. It felt like a new house for the first few weeks. And if you're comfortable with basic DIY projects, this is definitely something you can tackle yourself. It's one of those projects that's simple, but not easy. It's simple in theory, you just cut the planks to size and snap them together, but it's not always easy since it takes time and a bit of effort to get a clean, professional result. So in this video, I focus more on the overall project, but if you're looking for a full step-by-step tutorial, like tools, layout, cutting techniques, everything, I've got a complete guide coming next, so make sure to stick around and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching.